Whoops.
What do you mean, whoops?
I felt like mine was early.
Well, no, that's because there's, like, gonna be a delay anyway.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I'm
Jade,
nervous.
No, Jade, it's the reason we do it. The reason we do a clap sync with the world clock is that there's a slight delay.
Oh, because we're in different... Because
Yeah.
of the time zone? Okay.
Well, not because
No,
of the
we're in
time
the same
zone, just the
time zone,
distance.
It's just
Oh.
internet.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, cool. Okay, sorry.
Okay, let's do this. I mean, we're all recording. This is how podcasts work.
Is it, Andrew?
It's possible that, because podcasts are so rare to find nowadays, it's possible that I don't fully understand how podcasts work, but I've been led to believe that a podcast is when certain people, usually of the Caucasian variety, just kind of talk to each other about things that they like, and then
Like a barbecue.
record it and put it on the internet.
I did notice a couple months back, right after Black Panther came out, that all of the podcasts I listened to brought on their black friend or coworker to talk about the movie. And I guess, like, my best reaction to that was, boy, maybe these guys should just be on the podcast all the time.
Yep.
Yeah.
Diversity in views usually gets you just a overall better conversation and a better society.
Yep.
Speaking of diversity, here on the Voluntary Viewing Podcast, the first time a woman has ever been on an internet podcast. You know her, you love her, it's Jade.
I don't like that introduction.
Trust me, Jade, I have a better one coming. Do not worry about
Oh my
it.
god, women are so needy.
What I was going to say when you said speaker diversity, I was just going to say that I feel like all the creators that I, like, consume media, like podcast and YouTube, are all Asian. I only watch...
You follow plenty of white women.
But, like, I feel like during, like, big parts of my life, I primarily follow or watch Asian women on YouTube.
Wow, what a racist.
That's all right.
Can't believe we had her on our podcast.
As though it isn't presently happening.
Oh my god.
It's true.
Alright, should I do the actual intro?
That was the actual intro. I'm kidding.
No.
Yeah, go ahead.
Andrew, no. Come on. No. Someone's eating.
Yes.
And your mic is picking up all of that.
Jade, you can't do that.
I didn't know it was that loud because it's a gummy.
You're eating gummy worms?
They're mango gummies from Trader Joe's.
What the hell is a mango? Isn't it just a mango?
It says it's a fruit and yogurt gummy candy. I'll stop eating it. Can I drink my kombucha?
Yes, you can.
Thanks.
Hello.
Very curious.
Let's do the intro, my dude.
Okay, here we go. For reals this time. Hello and welcome to the Voluntary Viewing Podcast, the only podcast on the internet that talks about video games without spending 20 fucking minutes every episode talking about Destiny for some goddamn reason. We have a guest joining us today, and I am proud to say that she is the current governor of Florida Bama Shores, Jade Morshauser.
I'm very pumped about the new season.
And joining her, staple of the podcast, is the incumbent mayor of Sextown, Andrew Clark.
Hey, it's me. It's Sextown. If you don't know how to get there, I'll draw you a map.
And as always, is me, the third-term alderman for Anime City, Lucas DeRuyter. And unfortunately, the president of Hollywoodland, Ryan Holt, is unable to make the podcast today, which is happening on July 2nd, because he is in the middle of moving.
Bummer.
We'll miss him. Ryan!
He's not here for his quirky comebacks and the banter that we have worked out so well.
There's a lot of awkward pauses so far. I'm really excited to see how the next 2 hours goes.
Hey, we're going to keep this one a little bit shorter. No 2-hour podcast today.
Good, because I've not finished meal prepping.
What you making?
I was gonna roast some sweet potatoes so I can make like a little sweet potato chicken salad with like a spring green mix.
It sounds very healthy. Good job.
Jade,
What?
that's not in the planning document. You're not allowed to talk about it.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Speaking of the planning document, hey, Jade, thank you for contributing more to it on this single episode you've been on than Andrew has in maybe the entirety of the podcast's run so far. I dig that.
What the hell am I supposed to write on there when you already write everything that's going on during the week before I can get on?
Whatever you want to talk about.
See, this is why you guys just needed me, so you could have that, like, a woman's perspective.
What is your perspective on the situation, Jade?
On this situation?
Yes.
I'm hearing just a lot of excuses.
Ooh.
Sorry.
And I'm sure a lot of people are going to have a lot of excuses in our News of the Week segment. Andrew, you didn't do the noises. There we go. Okay, first up in video games. Bluehole has dropped the lawsuit against Epic Games. That was the kind of ongoing news story where the PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds people were suing Fortnite for copyright infringement. And yeah, we had talked about it previously, how it was kind of a weird, kind of dubious lawsuit to begin with. But yeah, they have since withdrawn the lawsuit, and it's unknown if like a settlement was involved or if they just saw the writing on the wall and decided that it wasn't good to press forward with it.
Yeah, and I'm kind of sad that Ryan isn't here this week to talk about it, since he has more experience with PUBG than any of us. But while I will definitely consider PUBG to be more of a fun experience for me personally than games like Fortnite, a lot of people have been mad at Bluehole and the PUBG Corporation recently for the way that they've treated their players. They've done a lot of random stuff to try to get back into the game by doing different game modes that last a shorter period of time. They've done smaller maps. They've done a season pass, and it seems like all of it's kind of meant to copy the Fortnite formula.
Mm-hmm.
As much as Fortnite kind of made its success by copying the PUBG formula, PUBG is trying to get back onto the player's good side by doing a lot of like cosmetic stuff and like season pass stuff with challenges and like limited time game modes. The only problem is that the season pass costs money, the cosmetics aren't that great, and PUBG is already a game that people paid $30 to play, and so the players feel like they're kind of getting gypped because Bluehole is like, hey, we're going to give you all this good content to keep you guys busy and involved in the game, but it cost money when the game already cost money. Like, Fortnite was free. People were okay buying the season pass, even though I didn't, just because I didn't see a need to.
Mm-hmm.
People were okay buying the season pass to get those challenges and cosmetics because the game is fucking free. Fortnite is a $30, or PUBG is a $30 game.
As like more and more battle royale games pop up, and this is coming from somebody who was never really infatuated with PUBG like so many other people were, as like the genre keeps growing, PUBG is having less and less to distinguish itself from everything else other than that it was the first one, and that's probably not a great place to be.
Yeah, like a popular YouTuber that I like watching named Jack Frags, who just kind of, makes his money off of being really good at FPSs and, just having like some decently engaging commentary and like being engaged with his viewers. He was talking about the possibility for, Battlefield 5 Battle Royale mode that's kind of in the works. And he said that if Battlefield came out with a Battle Royale game that just... hold on, my phone's going off. If Battlefield 5 came out with a Battle Royale game that, had better UI and connectivity, like internet connectivity, and played exactly the same as PUBG, no one would play PUBG. Because PUBG has so many technical problems, just no one's playing it, or like no one can play it successfully.
People argue that the glitches are a part of the charm, but that has always seemed like an excuse to me.
It's not a Bethesda game. Come on. It's an online multiplayer game.
Jade, how little do you care about this news story? Like, on a scale of 0 to 10.
Like 3 or 4.
Has Andrew made you play any Fortnite yet?
No, I feel like I would just ruin it somehow.
Like, for Andrew or like for other people playing the game?
Both.
Fair enough. Here's Andrew, do you have something to close this off?
Yeah, hold on 1 second. This is kind of embarrassing. I'm gonna need to I'm not gonna stop recording, but I am gonna leave for about 2 or 3 minutes. I gotta go buy some parking tickets for the Brewers game we're doing right now. I'm sorry.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, Jade, vamp!
Vamp? What?
Vamp!
You mean vent?
No, vamp. It's
that?
like a stage term for like when something goes wrong, then you just start improving to...
I should know that.
Yeah.
Well, here's some good material for right now. I'm currently watching an ad for the season premiere of Florida Shore next week on Instagram.
What channel is that on?
MTV.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
What does it do anything to like distinguish itself from like the other like bunch of wild characters living with each other TV shows?
I mean, it's like the same format. It's pretty much the same. The big difference between those shows is that they always look for a different culture of people. So like Jersey Shore was Guidos. There was that show where there was a bunch of kids like up in like Alaska. I forget what that was called. That one was short-lived. There was another one that I used to watch. Can't remember what it was called either. It was a bunch of kids in like Mississippi or like something like that. They like swam down river from like a nuclear power plant. They're like, it was something else.
I am not at all surprised that the Alaska one was short-lived because Alaskans aren't known for being like over-the-top people.
What are you talking about? All Alaskan people do is drink.
And go to Best Buy. Not Best Buy. Blockbuster.
Blockbuster? Wait, are the only Blockbusters in Alaska?
Yeah, because they never got like good enough internet up there for streaming.
Oh my god, that's amazing. I didn't know that.
If you ever want to relive a very specific window of your childhood, go to Alaska.
Okay. I'm like, I have all these faint memories of watching these shows, like, resurfacing in my head right now.
I'm back. Sorry.
Andrew, we're talking about Florida-Bama Shores. Shut up. Continue, Jade.
I was just saying, like, I have all these faint memories. Like, I know I've watched these shows, and I remember, like, someone, like, made a pool, like, in a dump truck on the Alaska show, and then, like, there was all this drama on the other show, and, like, they lived in, like, a trailer park, but I can't remember anything else. I can't remember any specifics, any names, the names of the shows.
I feel like someone in Andrew and mine's high school, like, brought their truck into school one day, and they had turned the back of it into a pool.
I got a dream like that once. Like, someone
Wait,
brought a
what
truck
happened?
to my school.
Andrew, am I making this up, or at one point in our high school careers, did somebody drive their truck in and they turned the back of it into a pool?
I vaguely remember someone maybe putting like a like a small inflatable pool or a kiddie pool in the bed of their truck. I don't think they just like filled the bed up with water.
Okay.
But
but they like did a thing so it would retain water.
Yeah, and they either brought it to school or it was at like the public park or something like that. That does sound familiar.
Yeah.
And definitely something that would happen in Berlin.
Jade, you'll probably care about this next news item, probably less than Florida-Bama Shores, but still
Okay.
a little bit. The new Overwatch hero has been announced, and it's just a fucking gerbil named Hammond.
That's
He's
amazing.
a hamster, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, like Hamtaro?
Yes.
Exactly.
Except in, like, you know those, like, spinning droids from Star Wars?
Yeah.
He's in one of those.
Oh my god.
Basically, yeah. Actually, the hero's name is not Hammond. It's Wrecking Ball. Because it basically is just a wrecking ball that, like, it rolls around and, like, shoots out a grappling hook and swings around like a wrecking ball. But then it also turns into, like, a spider and shoots lasers. I don't know.
That was a
Like
hamster.
a wrecking ball.
Yep. A cybernetically enhanced hamster that can pilot a machine of war cannot talk.
I want to play Overwatch now.
You're about 6 months late to the game because Lucas and I haven't played in about that long.
And
I don't care.
This is not going to bring me back to it either.
I want to relive Hamtaro.
Yeah, that Hamtaro is exactly what I thought of when I saw this one first time.
Jade, have you seen, like, the original run of Hamtaro?
I don't know.
Like, from the 1980s?
I don't think so.
There's, like, this one really memed scene from it where Hamtaro is just cleaning up his owner's apartment, and then somebody calls his phone, mistaking it for a sex line, and Hamtaro picks it up, and then it's just a hamster who can apparently be understood by humans. This is like a Toy Story situation.
Okay.
Like, responding to, like, what the guy on the other end of the phone wants, not realizing at all what sex is, or that
Oh my god.
the guy on the other end is
Jeez.
obviously jerking off.
Is this a
The hell?
children's show?
Yep.
Japan's fucking weird.
I mean, can we just think back to SpongeBob for a second before we judge? Or Rocco's Modern Life.
Rocco's Modern Life was a fucking fever dream.
Rocco's Modern Life is my favorite show when I was 4 years old.
Was that made by
explains a lot.
Was that made by the same guy as Ren and Stimpy, or is that a different person?
That sounds about right.
It's like the era. I don't know if it's the same creator.
Okay.
I watched that show too. And Cow and Chicken. That was on Cartoon Network.
Cow and Chicken. Oh god, I have to go back to Cow and Chicken. I feel like there's a lot of stuff in that wouldn't fly today.
Lucas, you do not have to go back to Cow and Chicken.
Wasn't the devil just like an obviously gay guy?
Something like that.
Oh.
I remember thinking, wow, the devil's just kind of weird. But that was just me not understanding, flamboyancy. But after talking about Overwatch a little bit, I want to talk about a game whose lore is somehow even more stupid than Overwatch. It's another game whose backstory has nothing to do with the gameplay. It's Fortnite, and it had a fucking rocket launch. And I was in a match when the rocket launched, and it was incredible. and I immediately felt bad for enjoying it. Because it's really stupid that people get hyped up about the underlying story behind a battle royale game. But yeah, Lucas, you saw a video, I think. Jade, you don't play Overwatch, but
Fortnite.
what happened was that this season, its whole theme, it was like superheroes and movies, and the superheroes that you get the skins of in the game all, like relate to each other in some way. And like there has been changes to the maps that kind of like denote some sort of story happening in the background. And then it culminated with the villains launching a rocket into the sky that was supposed to bomb the map, and then it hit something and opened up a rift in like space-time. And that's just in the map now, and probably until the end of the season. So people were trying to figure out, like, what does it mean for the story? Like, who cares?
My money is that aliens are going to be the theme of the next season, which I think comes out in like a couple of days. Or this is going to be the thing that is the in-game explanation for a new map. And it's like a portal to a different dimension. And that's why there are all the same assets, but they're just organized differently.
Could be.
I think I will push back that Fortnite's lore is worse than Overwatch's, because, I don't know, Overwatch in some ways might be a little bit harmful in that it borrows a lot of stuff from its community. Like, Soldier 76 used to just be like an old, grizzled war vet, and now he's a dad, and that was straight up lifted from a bunch of like fan art and fan fiction that fans wrote. But
was he like a DILF?
Yeah.
Okay.
But like one of his skins that you can put on him is it's like him in flip flops with socks and like a Hawaiian t-shirt, and he's like I think it's like Grill Master 76 or something. So he's got like, a spatula and an apron that says like license the grill or kiss the cook or something like that. I don't see, like, I agree that or Overwatch's lore is kind of weird, but I don't see how it's harmful.
Well, I'm thinking like Tracer, who is we actually don't know exactly what her sexuality is, whether that's gay, bi, or just queer. But in an ancillary comic, she has a girlfriend and is presumably a lesbian woman, but there is next to nothing in the game to denote that, I think, outside of a single voice line. And that's kind of like, I don't know, if not tokening, just kind of yep, we have a gay woman in our game, but only like just barely, and her gayness is so subtle and infrequently mentioned that you could just ignore that fact about her if you had a problem with it or something like that.
I mean, like, I definitely think it's very tokeny, and like they're not, as much as people kind of like say that like Overwatch is like, I want to say Bastion for diversity, but Bastion's actually a character in the game. So anyway, like a big, moment in gaming diversity, and it is, but like it's not saying anything with it. There's no message behind it, which is okay. Like, we have to understand it is literally okay to just have characters in a game that don't really mean anything in terms of their diversity, because we have to understand Overwatch is a multiplayer game that has no story mode other than like a couple of random voice lines and like backstory that like has been added in just like for the community's sake, not actually in the game. There is no story. Like, I think if this was a game that was very story driven and like had a big campaign and they had all these characters that were very one dimensional, that would be super shitty. But like I feel like it's okay in this game. It's just that like they should stop trying to make themselves out to be, this super progressive game.
Oh, that's, yeah. I think that sums up my feelings on it pretty concisely. All right, next up on the docket, Google making noise that it wants to start a gaming platform to rival Sony and Microsoft. It would be entirely streaming based, which means there would be no need for expensive hardware in the form of a gaming console or a high-end PC.
Yeah, but like that doesn't really make any sense. Like if it's streaming based, like, you know, Steam is streaming based, you still need like a processor to like run the game.
I think, well, Steam is kind of streaming based, but all of my experiences with it, I've had to download a game onto my laptop to play it. So then that's like my game, my laptop, everything to run the game is coming off of my laptop. I think what Google's looking for is a service where you interact with a game, you're entering in the commands from your laptop, but then the game is being run on hardware in a remote location.
So we're talking about basically like a cloud-based processor with like a bajillion terabytes of RAM space.
Exactly, which means if you live anywhere without Google Fiber or a similar high-end internet provider, you're fucked, and this isn't for you.
Hold on one second. What's up?
Oh my god.
So, Jade, what is the re-release of the Sony Sega?
Oh, so it's a promotion that they had over Christmas that they did it with Nintendo 64 too, I think, or just Nintendo, where it's like a Sega, it's a Sony Sega, but every Sega game ever is loaded into it, and you plug it in your TV and you play it like a game, like a Sega game console.
But, like,
Mortal Kombat.
Oh, okay. But I thought, like, Sony and Sega were, like, two different companies.
Maybe I'm calling something else. Sega Genesis.
Is it
Sorry.
Oh, okay.
That's what I meant. I don't know why. I think that's like what I had one when I was 6, and my 6-year-old brain called it that. I meant a Sega Genesis.
So your 6-year-old Jade combined Sony PlayStation and Sega Genesis. Okay.
Yes, that's what my 6-year-old brain did, and that's why I always call it that. And people are always like, what the hell are you talking about? No, it's a Sega Genesis. So, yeah, I have, like, Sonic and Mortal Kombat and all that jazz.
Jade, what was the best games to come out on the Sega Genesis, and which do you hope are in this, like, mini nostalgia bait version of it?
Well, just Mortal Kombat across the board.
Did Mortal Kombat have blood in the Sega version, or was that only Nintendo that got censored?
No, there's blood in it. I was playing it recently. I was like, I played this game when I was 5 years old. What were my parents thinking? It's pretty gory.
Mortal Kombat? Yeah, that's kind of their whole thing.
Yeah, I don't know. It was fun. I used to play it all the time as a kid, and then Sonic was my other favorite. Those are the two that I played.
Yeah, I just Googled best Sega Genesis games, and Sonic the Hedgehog 2 was the first one to come up.
Okay. Yeah.
All right, I'm back. Sorry.
Hey, we're talking about the Sega Genesis nostalgia machine.
Yeah, that's a fun little
out.
thing. You know, the between the Sega Genesis and the Nintendo, like the mini new Super Nintendo or whatever it was called, like those things were pretty fun.
They had Altered Beast on Sega Genesis.
Mm.
Also Toe Jam and Earl, which good game, terrible creator.
There's another game, I forget what it's called, that's on mine that I have, that I never played before. And I can't remember what it's called. I think it's the one where you have to, like, you're a man, like, running through the jungle, like, dodging obstacles or something.
Contra.
Maybe that's it. It's impossible. I can't play it.
Wait, no, I was thinking of the Earthworm Jim guy that's terrible. Toe Jam and Earl is fine as far as I'm concerned.
Okay.
As far as I'm aware, at least. Earthworm Jim he's the bad man, though. You guys want to talk about television?
Sure.
I don't watch TV.
I watch very little TV.
I watch Riverdale and only Riverdale.
I also watch Riverdale.
So
we watch it together.
And Floribama Shore, of course.
Well,
of course. So I added my only entry to this section with the thought that Ryan was going to be on here because he actually knows and or cares about Halo. But yeah, they're making a Halo TV series, and it's probably not going to be great.
I heard about that.
Lucas, I would like to call out your bullshit.
Yeah?
Because I added that.
Why is it in my text color then?
A couple of the things that were in my text color changed to black. There's a few other things that I had in there. The Fortnite rocket was mine. That changed to green for no reason. Anyway.
Okay.
You're a fucking liar.
Well, I'm sorry.
God.
I remember reading about that, and I thought I added it to this. But Andrew, do you have anything to say on the Halo TV series? I think I kind of added my piece.
No, I put it there because I thought Ryan might have some input about it. Other than like I know that Halo is a huge game in gaming history, and it getting a TV show could either change the way that people like view video games as a medium, or it could just stay the same as video games has always been viewed, and video game television shows and movies will always be shitty. Kind of depends on how Showtime handles it.
I mean, the Castlevania Netflix thing was pretty good. I think we can get the sequel for that pretty soon. I don't know.
I'll take your word for it.
It was good holdover for Game of Thrones. Jade, do you want to talk about Riverdale and or Floribama Shores?
I mean, I feel like I've given my input on Floribama Shore. I don't know, like, do you just want me to say what I'm excited for the season?
That actually might work better in Breakouts. Do you know if season 3 of Riverdale is happening?
I don't.
Oh.
I actually haven't. I don't really follow the like television news because it's just not something that I'm super passionate about. It was always like, because I studied media in college, and like television industries was the class that I hated. It was the only commerce class that I like actually despised.
Did you guys see that Cole Sprouse of Sweet Life of Zack and Cody and Riverdale fame fucking roasted Jared Leto on Twitter?
No, I did not see that.
What?
So I forget what it was, but Jared, Leto posted, a picture of him and then a picture of Cole Sprouse when they were, the same age, I think early teens next to each other. And Jared Leto was just like, yeah, I could kick your ass back then just like I can now. And then Cole Sprouse just responded, dude, you couldn't even lift my wallet.
Gee. Well, okay. I actually saw a post, and it was KJ Appo who plays Archie in Riverdale. This must have been a joke between the two of them because I thought it was kind of weird.
I showed this to you.
Yeah, Jade showed it to me, and it was KJ Appa when he was 17, and he just fucking shredded. And then it showed Cole Sprouse at 17. He's kind of a dweeb. He's like, I would have kicked your ass at that age. And I thought it was kind of random, but it makes sense now. Why the hell would Jared Leto just out of the blue say, I would have fucked you up?
Because Jared Leto is a piece of shit human being.
Oh, God, I hate him so much.
Right?
The most recent 30 Seconds to Mars song that was on the radio, I remember my sister going to me, I don't know how this came up, but she thought that 30 Seconds to Mars was a Christian band somehow through the lyrics of that song. And I'm like, there's no way Jared Leto is religious.
No. I would say that Jared Leto should stick to acting, but he's not any good at that either. So.
Nope.
Ooh.
Mm.
Welcome to the roast of Jared Leto.
This one's for you, Cole Sprouse.
Cole Sprouse, give us money. Jade, what's going on with Bo Burnham's new movie?
Well, I just have you guys heard about that movie at all?
You showed me the trailer for it, and it looked very real.
That's the point!
No, I mean, like, that's a good thing. Like,
Yeah.
it looked like a movie that could have been any other, like, teen or high school movie, but, like, it definitely seemed like it had more of a reality component to it, which I appreciated, at least in the trailer.
Yeah, see, like, I'm just, like, really taken. I haven't seen the film yet, but I'm just really taken by its existence because it's, like, written, directed by Bo Burnham, and it's, like, the last thing I would have thought that he would write a movie about. But it's basically about a girl, she's a teenager, if I read, like, the little, like, slug line on, like, or, like, not the slug line, but, you know, the little headline on, DB page, it's a teenager tries to survive the last week of her disastrous 8th grade year before leaving to start high school. And that line just makes it sound really shallow and dumb. But it's basically about, like, I think it's basically about, like, how social media impacts 14-year-olds.
Okay.
Yeah.
That sounds great. I don't think I'll ever check it out, though, because I totally missed the Bo Burnham bandwagon.
Oh my god.
I feel like he was maybe, like, at the peak of his popularity when we started our freshman year of college.
Mm-hmm.
And I
think it was much earlier than that.
Really?
I think it was, like, freshman year of high school when he was the biggest.
Yeah.
He's kind of old at this point.
I vividly recall our, like, first couple months at UW, like, numerous people in the dorm, like, getting together to watch the same 3 Bo Burnham comedy specials, like, half a dozen times. But
well, so you're both right. I feel like when we were freshmen in college, that's when, like, he had all his comedy specials out, and he was, like, probably, like, he was really doing well in his career. His career was kind of exploding. I think he went viral when we were in high school. If you notice the distinction.
No, he had his renaissance when we were in college. I fully understand, yeah.
Yeah, because his first album, his first Comedy Central Records album, Beau Show, was released in 2008. And his second one was released in 2010. That was Words, Words, Words. Oh no, Words, Words, Words was his live Comedy Central special. That's the one that that our friends were watching.
Yep.
In their dorms, but yeah, that was released in 2010.
Yeah, but he was on Vine, so that's why everyone was watching him again.
He was on Vine?
Yeah, he had a couple Vines.
I think
like,
the only Vine
Vines
that I know of him doing was the ones like, is there anything better than pussy? Yes, a really good book, and then, like, hitting his keyboard.
He played a chord, he didn't just hit his keyboard.
I mean, is there a difference?
Yes. Someone doesn't know anything about music here.
The Voluntary Viewing Podcast, the only podcast on the internet that debates the content of a single piece of media from a dead platform.
Not only a single piece of media within a dead platform, a single musical note within a single piece of media on a dead platform.
I didn't say what chord it was. I'm not that smart.
So, the Twitter account, We Rate Dogs, formerly thought to be this, like, nice, pure, uncorrupted thing, got in a little bit of hot water this week because it was discovered that the owner of the account was changing the names of some of the dogs, supposedly with the owner's permission, to whiter-sounding names. And that stuff like Kanan was changed to George, or a name like Pablo would be changed to Pipsy. And the owner of the account, in his kind of apology, kind of explaining, I didn't realize, like, this was wrong, said that he only did it because he just got better views when he changed the name. So this is a whole dumb, stupid situation.
I feel like this is just more representative of the tone in media in general.
How do you mean?
Like, you give things white-sounding names and they become more popular because the general American public is xenophobic.
Yeah.
Hot take.
You want to hear a news story that's even dumber?
Sure.
YouTube, bizarrely, and without any kind of announcement, has started a new program where 0.3% of users see randomly generated thumbnails for videos instead of the ones selected by the creators uploading them.
What's the point?
Just probably some dumb social experiment.
They claim it's to prevent more trolling, but YouTube already has a pretty good handle on taking care of trolling, so I don't know what the fuck is going on here.
Also, like, how would this curb that even whatsoever? I think the example that you have in our planning document is that a video about Dragon Ball at one point had a thumbnail that was a blue background with a baby, a puppy, and a kitten on it. And, like, that was a randomly generated thumbnail. But, like,
wait, so it's randomly generated thumbnails like that? I thought it was like, you know, like, if you're not like a verified like creator on YouTube, like where like it just like pulls a random screenshot and it's usually you like looking really awkward.
No, not even a screenshot from the video, just a random image.
I don't like that. That sounds, I don't know.
Yeah.
It sounds conspiracy-y.
YouTube has been shit for a while. Oh well.
Speaking of YouTube shit.
Yep, go for it.
Hit it, girl.
TanaCon. TanaCon 2K18.
Oh, no. I think we actually talked about this in last week's podcast briefly, but, like, that was kind of, like, right after it was happening. Please walk us through the full story, the aftermath, and every little gritty detail.
Okay, so I don't know everything because I've only gotten through part 1 of Shane Dawson's 3-part documentary series on TanaCon and Tana Mojo.
Oh my god.
I actually don't know if I'm saying her name right, by the way. I just prefer to call her Tana Mojo.
I believe it is Tana Mojo.
Okay, because that sounds the best in my opinion.
Well, I mean, that's what I've heard everyone say, but it's spelled like Mongao.
Yeah, well, it's probably, I think it's French or Cajun.
Oh, okay.
I have no idea. I just said that. But basically,
kind of like how Tana Mojo just says random shit and for no reason at all pretends that it's true.
Hey, before you judge her, watch Shane Dawson's documentary, okay?
If it sympathizes with her, I don't think I'm going to enjoy it.
It's not cited as far as I can tell from the first part. So he has a 3-part series. I think each episode's 30 minutes long. The first part is kind of like an overview of everything and like an introduction. That's what I just watched today. So basically, TanaCon. So Tana Mojo hates VidCon because Tana Mojo was promised to be a featured creator at VidCon twice and was fucked over by VidCon twice. After she promoted the convention for them. So that's where she has her beef, is that she promoted the convention and was told that she was going to be a creator there, and then all her fans bought tickets, and then they said, never mind, you're not a creator, you can't have any meet and greets here, and then, like, she would get pissed and her fans would get pissed, so she was basically done. I don't know if she was officially banned from VidCon either. There's just a lot of drama. She has a ton of really long videos about it if you want to go take a look.
Yeah, but wasn't there something, and you can correct me if I'm wrong here, because maybe I misunderstood, but I thought the reasons that she was, told that she wasn't going to be a creator at VidCon anymore, and the reason that she got banned is for controversial shit that she did on her videos and in her personal life. Maybe we don't want her promoting our brand.
I've never heard any, like, sort of, like, VidCon making statement like that about her. I don't know what happened. The reason that she had issues with VidCon is because she would still go to VidCon, because she was a fan of YouTube before she was on YouTube. So, like, the times where they were like, oh, you're going to be a featured creator, oh, never mind, you can't. She would just buy herself a ticket and go to VidCon anyway because she wanted to go. And her fans would hoard her. And she would cause, like, security issues because all her fans... She would basically cause, like, little mobs because she's really popular.
I remember that was a bigger thing the last couple of years, and they were really trying to crack down on that.
Yeah, so that's where we get into what happened with TanaCon. So, the whole thing with TanaCon is that... So, she organized it with a company called Good Times Entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what I've understood from watching this video and seeing what I've seen. There were two options for tickets to purchase for TanaCon. There were free tickets. And she called them feature creator was the free ticket. And then featured fucking creator was the $65 VIP pass that had, like, you could skip the line and stuff like that. And then you're supposed to get, like, a big goodie bag and all this, like, VIP shit. Anyway, apparently what the confusing part is, like, everyone had VIP passes, no one had the free pass, and the venue was only, the maximum capacity for the venue was 1,000, and over 5,000 people showed up.
So they knowingly sold more tickets than what the venue could hold.
Yeah, that's what it's looking at. They sold, like, 5,000 tickets, even though the venue can only hold 1,000. Now, if you, like, watch, like, Tana's video, like, initial videos, or, like, her live, I think it was, like, Instagram live or something that she put out, and all this stuff, like, a lot of people were saying that 20,000 people mobbed TanaCon, and that's why it got shut down. But, from the initial Shane Dawson video I saw and, like, the footage, it was more like they only had room for 1,000 people and they sold 5,000 tickets. So the big thing was that you have all these, like, young kids waiting out in a hot parking lot for, like, 5 to 8 hours trying to get into TanaCon, never getting in. Some of them got third-degree sunburns. Some people passed out and were, like, taken away by ambulance because they were so dehydrated, because there was no water or anything.
After having spent $60 to go to this.
Well, more than $60, because also the other problem is most of the people that went to TanaCon weren't from California. They were from out of state. Like, people spent money to fly in to Anaheim to go to TanaCon.
And then spent their entire day basically getting heat stroke.
Yeah, because they never got in the building because they couldn't let anyone in because they didn't have enough room for everybody that bought tickets.
Are there any, like, new developments besides that?
Well, I don't really know because, like, I didn't watch. So I'm a big Shane fan, and I haven't gotten around to watching the full series, so I haven't looked at any, like, seeing if anyone's tweeted about anything or anything like that. But, like, she made a deal with Shane that she wasn't gonna make any formal statements about what happened and who was responsible, like, until it was, like, revealed in his video.
Okay.
Because she only trusted him. Because she said in the first video that she always, like, she's impulsive in situations like this, and then she says the wrong thing, so she wanted to sit down with Shane and talk about it.
Okay. That's probably smart then, I guess, on her part to, like, hey, I'm probably going to fuck this up, like I fucked up TanaCon. You take this out of my hands.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess my kind of read on it, and this is coming from somebody who just has no investment whatsoever. This was really maybe kind of shitty of her to knowingly sell more tickets than what the venue could handle and take advantage of her fans like that. Yeah.
And then it's like a lot of, like, people are like, well, was it her fault or was it Good Time Entertainment's fault? Oh my god, like, I haven't watched the videos yet, but there's like clips of this weird, like, bleach blonde guy on a Segway rolling around TanaCon, and apparently he's the CEO of Good Time Entertainment. He looks like he's 17.
But, like, the thing is, and this is maybe a bit of a controversial and loaded statement, I think it's been established that Tana Mongeau is just a fucking liar, and will say anything and everything.
I think she's like
make her more sympathetic. And honestly, I know you like Shane, but I would bet any amount of money that the truth behind that is that she wanted time to get her story straight.
Well, yeah, like, duh. And Shane's been doing, like, a bunch of long form as in, like, anything 20 minutes and over. He's been doing a lot of long-form digital content. So, of course, he's going to see this opportunity and be like, hey, like, I'm really interested in what the hell went down. Because what he said is that the majority of people that went to TanaCon went there to see Shane, because Shane doesn't go to conventions. Shane doesn't do meetups. So everyone that has been, like, huge Shane fans for, like, 10 years, because he's been on YouTube for so long, went, oh my god, Shane is at a convention. Shane's at a meet and greet. So they all bought tickets to go see Shane, and then no one ever got to see Shane because TanaCon got shut down. So that's Shane's main motivation for making the video, because he was like, shit, like, one of my fans got to see me.
I'm also seeing a lot of people throw around kind of excuses for the situation, like, well, this is a bunch of young people behind it. As somebody who is currently a younger person, I find that kind of insulting, that you would...
I mean, I haven't seen anyone say that. I've seen people say that people were, like, really irresponsible and aren't owning their shit, and, like, it's just a big, like, fucking mess. I haven't heard anyone say, oh, it's just because they're young. I've heard people say, what the hell's going on here?
I saw a little bit of that, but okay, I'm glad that narrative isn't super widespread.
Tana Mojo said that. Like, in the immediate aftermath, like, she put out, like, a bunch of, like, random tweets, and I think she deleted some of them, but it was like, oh my god, don't blame me, I'm only 19.
Well, do you know what probably spurred that? Do you guys know who James Charles is?
No. Not at all, but continue.
Wow. Okay, James Charles is, like, the it beauty guru of the moment.
That's why I have no clue who he is.
Heard of him?
You never heard of, like sisters, like he's a sister, like that type of thing?
I don't need to look at beauty videos, Jade. I'm on a podcast.
Okay, sorry. Also,
they can't handle my face.
With a voice like this, why would I ever need to improve my face?
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Anyway, James Charles went on a rant, like, while he was still at TanaCon, as TanaCon was being shut down, about, like, how, like, pissed off he was, and I think he basically, like, denounced his friendship with Tana.
What? Wow.
Okay, that, this is just a clusterfuck of a situation, and I'm glad that I care so little about it that I can just marvel at the spectacle of it.
Yeah. Can I just say this, though? I'm someone who watches a lot of YouTube. I really like YouTube. I would never, in my right mind, pay $65 and then pay $500 for a plane ticket to go to Anaheim, California, to go to TanaCon, and then after waiting an hour in the parking lot, like, still wait around to get in. I would just leave and go, I don't know, somewhere else in Los Angeles.
Well, yeah, but at that point you've put, like, what, $300, $350 into it altogether?
Yeah,
so it's kind of like sunk cost fallacy.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, no one's going to buy that plane ticket with the plans to go see what is essentially a show or a convention, and then just settle on, like, finally being able to go to In-N-Out Burger.
Yeah, well, no, like, I'm just saying, I can't imagine doing that in the first place.
Right.
Well, no, but I mean,
maybe
like...
it's because, like, I don't know, like, I don't understand, like fangirling over these people, just because, maybe it's because, like, I studied, like, digital media production and stuff like that, so to me, like, it's just, like, I know people that, like, work, like, in TV, and, like, I have a lot of, like, friends that were, like, I know someone who, like, makes short films and is, like, a documentary professor and, like, stuff like that. So, like, to me, it's just, like, other people that work in media and not, like, oh my god, I have to go meet them.
I'm, like, a 2-3 hour trip max for, like, seeing a famous person or a musical group or something like that.
Yeah.
The only thing I can think of that's gonna, like... And Andrew and I have already committed to this. Once that Dragon Ball movie comes out, we are going to figure out a way to meet up so we can go see that together. And that is probably the most travel I'm going to put in for a piece of media ever. If that means I'm lazy, so be it. But it's just not how I consume things.
I feel like it depends on the type of media. Like, I will travel for a concert. Like,
right.
I got 4 hours sleep last night because I went and saw The Neighborhood in Milwaukee.
Badass.
Yeah.
And I know people that will, you know, travel hours to be able to go see a screening of a film in 70 millimeter.
Well, yeah, that makes sense. Like, that's totally worth it. It's 70 millimeter. I don't even know if that's actually, like, a standard, like, film. Like, now that I'm thinking, like, I feel like 70 millimeter is a number that we just made up right now.
No, that was a big thing.
It was 70?
Hateful Eight was 70 millimeter.
Okay, I was like, I never learned like on actual films. I was like, is that actually something that people project in, or did we just make that up right now?
Did Quentin Tarantino for The Hateful Eight. And
yeah, that's what I thought. It was 70.
That's what our buddy saw, yeah.
I've seen movies in 35 mil, but I don't think I've ever seen a movie in 70 mil.
Speaking of stuff we've seen, here are the breakouts.
Do 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 do. Da 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 da.
Hey, Andrew, what?
Sorry.
What?
I said I just feel like you combined a bunch of 80s hard rock songs into one little, like, doodad.
It's called prog rock, Jade.
Prog rock.
Hey, Andrew, why is Black Ops 3 stupid?
Oh my god, it's so fucking stupid.
Why are you playing it?
Oh, okay, so here's the backstory behind this. Every month, PlayStation Plus releases free games that you can download for that month period. This month, some of the big ones were one of the more recent XCOM games, which is like an alien strategy, whatever. There was Trials Fusion, which is a racing game. That game got really famous for being a stupid game that people played on YouTube for a while. But there was a bonus game this month. Black Ops 3 for like 2 weeks was just free to download. And so I said, why the hell not? I've talked shit about this game before because I read through the synopsis of the story and it just sounded fucking terrible. I think I might have done it.
Stories.
It, like we had a conversation in one of the previous podcasts about the state of campaigns within video games, specifically first-person shooters, and how they went from being something that was like really enjoyable and one of the main features of the game in the earlier Call of Duty games to just being non-existent. Like the new Call of Duty game coming out doesn't even have a story mode. But Black Ops 3 had a story mode. Dear God, was that story fucking stupid.
Wait, is that the one where Kit Harington...
No, we've been over that. That's a different game.
Wow.
But
okay.
Black Ops 1 has arguably the best Call of Duty campaign mode, and that's debatable.
Best FPS campaign mode, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. Like, I loved it. Black Ops 3 is completely unrelated to the rest of the storyline, and its main premise is that you're a soldier who gets his arms and legs ripped off by a robot, then gets robot limbs, goes on a murder spree to find the soldier that betrayed him or something like that. Turns out it was all just a fever dream that he was having as he was bleeding out on a doctor's table.
Oh my god, I remember this, and the gall they had to just...
Yeah. But the real kicker is that once you complete the campaign, which I am not going to play, by the way, once you complete the campaign, there's a bonus mode that you get called Nightmares, which is what I started playing through. And it is just a slog. It's a super interesting concept that should never have existed. After you beat the game, it starts a new campaign mode. It's a full campaign. There's 12 missions. Each one lasts 20-30 minutes. And the idea behind it is that you are another cybernetic soldier who died and is this isn't an alternate universe, is speaking, in the, while dead, to what I assume is the computer system that's in their brains that connects them, because they're kind of like robot people, trying to figure out where everything went wrong and if she can, come back to life to save the world or something. Okay. But the idea is that most of the levels are pretty much redesigned levels from the main campaign.
Oh.
It's all narration. There are points where your character is talking to other characters in the game, during cutscenes or during the mission, that sort of stuff. You don't hear any of that audio, and there's no subtitles. it's just mouths moving while the character is narrating to the voice in their head basically everything that happened. Want to hear the real kicker, though?
What?
This alternate universe is basically where COD Zombies is just a thing in real life. The universe is like a post-apocalyptic world with like a zombie virus that got out.
The Evil Within 2.
Kind of. It's like you're a super soldier and like the governments of the world set up like quarantine zones and like there's terrorists trying to spread the disease and it's a whole bunch of bullshit.
Every zombie game ever.
Yes. But like it is literally just the zombies from COD Zombies, like same assets, same sound effects. There's even mystery boxes and then like power-ups that you get off the ground. But there's no dialogue between characters when they clearly show them talking to each other. And it's just this woman narrating what's happening. And then like what sounds kind of like a psychiatrist asking you to like show him different memories. And that's how far that I've gotten.
I mean, what do you expect?
Super fucking weird.
What do you expect? It was free. You ever play Sneak King, Andrew? You ever play Sneak King that you got with a Burger King meal? That was also free.
It wasn't free initially, though.
Yeah,
this game used to cost $60.
Game.
What?
This was a $60 game.
Wait, this was a Ops 3 is a $60 game that just had a free, like...
Well, the game came out like 3 years ago.
Okay,
yeah.
see, I don't follow
2 years ago.
Okay. Yeah, no,
this game came out 2 years ago, I think.
It used to be a full-priced game, and, well, I don't think I'm ever going to play another Call of Duty game ever again, at least not buy one. I am, God, so much of this series just makes me sick now, and I'm still really fucking frustrated and annoyed that they do shit like that, where, hey, we're going to have this side content thing that's like the actual thing you want to play, but only takes up a quarter of the game, and then give you maybe an eighth of a full narrative or lore, whatever, within this thing that you are actually interested in. I'm sick of being strung along.
It wasn't necessary. There was a full campaign mode, there's the online multiplayer mode, and there's a zombie mode. And this thing is just kind of like a combination of all of it. But, like, it's completely unnecessary and not good. And you want to know what I think the idea behind it was?
What?
They didn't want to pay for any more voice acting between, like... Because, the characters that they have in the main storyline are played by, not famous actors, but actual actors.
Okay.
And they probably didn't want to pay for them to do anything more. Which is why they just had their likeness on screen and not saying anything.
And I'm also sick of just how visibly on the cheap these games are being made now.
Yeah.
Let's reminisce for a second, though. Let's reminisce for a second. Everyone share their favorite Call of Duty game.
COD Blops.
It has to be Black Ops 1, yeah.
Call of Duty 3 is my favorite.
Hardcore.
Yeah, we got a fucking hipster over here.
It's the only Call of Duty game I thoroughly enjoy playing, but I only play it doing like local split screen multiplayer.
That's how it's supposed to be.
It's amazing.
That's OG.
That was the best way to play old FPS games.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we don't have that anymore, and that makes me really sad.
It was the best. I gave my cousin a panic attack once because I climbed up in a tree and I just kind of hid out there and she couldn't tell where I was because, like, even though you could look on the screen, like, she couldn't figure out where on the map it was. I just jumped on top of her and smacked her because we would do the melee only. You can't shoot.
Oh.
Aw, that's cute that you guys had like your own specific rules for the game.
Yeah. We were like, I was in high school. She was probably 13 or 12.
Oh, you were beating up on your kid cousin in Call of Duty?
Yeah.
Bad girl.
Oh.
Christmas. I just love family Christmas.
That sounds like a great Christmas tradition.
Because that's like all my dad got us for, like, my dad's like thing for Christmas gifts for us, that he'd buy us a bunch of like video games, but we didn't. My family didn't do age restrictions, right. So all our games were like Like, I've never owned a game that was, like, lower rated than T, even when I was 6.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, me and all my younger cousins getting together, playing Grand Theft Auto 4 and 5, and secondhand Call of Duty games.
I love rated T video games.
Simpsons Hit and Run.
Yeah.
It's a great rated T video game.
Yeah, what's the fun stuff you can do without using violence as a crutch?
And Simpsons Hit and Run.
Well, and other T-rated games.
It's all based on violence. You just run people over on the sidewalk.
Well, yeah, but it's
just
Simpson-y, so there's no lasting damage.
Yeah, I don't know. You just drive around. You do more. Wait, no, you can't do local split screen on Hit and Run. What did I do in that game? I played that game for hours. I can't even remember what I did. Yeah.
Kill people, Jade. It's basically Grand Theft Auto, but yellow.
But The Simpsons.
All right. If you guys will indulge me in nerding out for a minute, in Lucas's Comic Corner, which I guess is the name for this mini segment, the really terrifically great manga Tokyo Ghoul came to an end today. And yeah, I talked about this a little bit on the show before. Just a fucking terrific series. The most tightly written long-form narrative I think I've ever read. Doesn't quite stick the landing at the ending, in my opinion. Like, for a series where pretty much every main and minor character is dealing with some form of loss or tragedy in their life, it does its best to, like, and this is how everybody gets a kind of happy ending. Like, that felt a little phoned in. But, yeah, it's done now, and that's kind of sad, and don't watch the anime, because it's kind of garbage.
Is manga basically just Sarah Dessen for nerds?
What's Sarah Dessen?
We'll return to that at a later point.
I'm looking forward to it.
Manga is just a paper version of Japanese comics.
Let me just Google a Sarah Dessen novel, like, title. What Happened to Goodbye?
I mean...
That summer.
I mean... It's like the Japanese word for comics, so it's more like a medium than a genre.
Okay. Well, yeah, I know that.
Okay. But me not knowing anything about Sarah Dessen, any of her works, yes. It is the nerd version of that.
Okay, I feel like you have no idea what you're, like, confirming at this moment.
Not at all, and I look forward to people in the comments telling me why that was a terrible thing for me to say. And then the other interesting piece of comic news is that a new series came out called Eden Zero by Hiro Mashima, the creator of Rave Master, the better one, and then the way more popular one, Fairy Tail. And, yeah,
that thing. What?
Andrew, I know you know what Fairy Tail is.
I know what you're talking about.
No, I don't.
Thank you, Jade. Andrew, get out from under your rock. And the really...
I'm in a closet, not a rock.
Andrew, come out from your closet and just let the world know that you're a nerd. We'll accept you for it. But yeah, the weird thing about the comic is, like, there's only a chapter out right now, so it's hard to make a judgment. He just straight up lifted character models from Fairy Tail and put them in this new thing. Like, half of the characters in the key art look identical to his previous work.
Physical hand drawings?
They look exactly the same.
Okay.
And he was kind of known for doing this, like, but in a more joking way. Like, people gave him shit when Fairy Tail first came out, because there's a guy at the beginning of that who looks exactly like a prominent character from his first work, but it was turned into a joke, and at the end of it, there were, like, 3 characters who looked identical to the other guy running around. But this is just... I don't know, this is just kind of weird and lazy, and I can't believe he actually did that. End rant.
fair.
Jade, what is the random things that we have watched, played recently that doesn't fall into the news category that you would like to talk about?
Random things that I've watched or played recently.
And I'm lifting that right out of what you wrote in the planning document.
I wrote that.
Okay, do you not understand what the
It was
text color is supposed to do?
to what she said, Lucas.
But we
Also,
don't-
it should not be that confusing to you. This is easy stuff. Come on.
Okay.
Color code your entries. It's not that hard.
No, I even thought that I wrote that, and like I don't remember
Right?
writing that.
How do you guys not know what you did or did not write?
I had a busy day.
I did this over the course of a week, like you're supposed to, not just chime in.
I'm sorry that I'm not unemployed, Lucas.
Who? Okay, so my thing.
I'm sorry you can't figure out how to use your work computer to make a couple of these entries throughout the day when they come to you.
I wouldn't have time to do this at work anyway.
Okay.
Nope, because you can get so much work done with the computer that you broke there.
Not break it, just not
Guys,
functional.
I'm gonna use this moment to share my word of the week. Okay.
What's the word?
I have a word of the week. It's my favorite word at the moment. The word is wellness hoe.
That's 2 words.
Okay, it's 2 words.
What does this term of the week mean?
So wellness hoe is how do I explain this? Like it's used in a sentence like, oh, what's on the coffee table? Oh, that's like my roommate's crystals and incense. She's a total wellness hoe. It's like trendy, basic young woman who's into things including healing crystals, incense, holistic medicine, healthy food, yoga, etc., etc.
Aren't
Jade,
you into all those things?
Yes, I'm a wellness hoe.
Jade, how many salt rock lamps do you think a wellness hoe would own?
I don't know. Like, I feel like I'm a fake wellness hoe because I only have one. I feel like a true wellness hoe has like a big one and then like a smaller one to take with her other places.
So I Googled wellness hoe. The first thing to come up was a BuzzFeed article, and the first heading in it just reads, so the term wellness hoe recently came to our attention and just ... Yes. And then a bunch of pictures of plants, crafts, and scented candles.
Mm-hmm. Pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
I like imagine like the color green, like salads, kombucha, and like just a really like I don't know, feminine aesthetic. I aspire to be a wellness hoe.
We could get into a whole thing about the issues with maybe prescribing some of that stuff as overtly like feminine or exclusively for women. But
I'm using feminine in the term of like the binary, like
okay.
like definitely like a white girl binary sense, you know? Because
like marketed feminine, yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
like marketed feminism.
All right, fair enough. I'm happy you got stuff you like. Good
And
for
I
you.
feel like this will kind of go into because we're going to be talking about the mandatory viewing next pretty soon, and this will kind of go into my mandatory viewing.
Oh god.
Well, why don't we
I'm looking forward to watching wellness hoe content, but
let's just roll into the mandatory viewing because the only thing we had in group chat was Westworld, which we can't talk about since I'm the only one here that watched it.
yeah, I think you and Ryan will do a spoiler segment on that next week.
Lucas,
probably.
just watch the you've got a full week. Watch the last like 3 or 4 episodes.
Don't let him pressure you into this TV series.
I don't. Okay, and I'll probably give like a longer version of this spiel, or maybe a shorter one next week, but it's just, I don't care about spoilers. I find that I actively enjoy media more, or am more likely to check something out if it's spoiled for me. I hear like, oh, those are some interesting ideas. I kind of want to see how they're executed. And as somebody who's sitting about exactly halfway through this most recent season of Westworld, I do actively want to know if stuff goes on where it's worth it for me to check out what that stuff is and then go from there.
I'm pretty similar.
Lucas, the whole point of this, almost the whole point of the show, and definitely the whole point of like this finale, is that you as the viewer have an experience as you realize what is happening.
You can have different experiences based on, like, what you know. Like, what your inherent knowledge changes your experience.
Right, you can, but the way that the show is designed to be experienced is that you are figuring things out as they, like, as they reveal themselves, that you don't have the full picture, and eventually you are given that full picture. And if it's spoiled for you beforehand, it's not being presented to you in the way that it's supposed to.
I don't know. I feel like that's a very, I don't know. I like experimenting with media experience.
Well, like, and you can do that, but if someone said that the best way to read an Agatha Christie book is to read who did it and then read the book, is a fucking psychopath.
I mean, is there a best way to view or experience anything, is the question?
Not always, but sometimes.
I don't think there is. I think that is an impossible conclusion to make.
Okay, well, anyway, Lucas, watch the show.
Let me just say this then. Sitting halfway through the season right now, Westworld has it has failed to get me interested in seeing how all of this comes together. So unless I get that nudge from you guys of, this is where everything does end up at the end of it, and this is what's going on, that has to be interesting enough for me to finish this up and see, okay, so this is what happens, let's see what that looks like moving. But yeah, that's just my spiel on it, and that's probably going to be a longer group chat section next week. The only one last little bit tidbit I have to add for breakouts is that with my significant other, we watched the new Steven Universe episode that came out today. That's a good show that's really kind of neutered by Cartoon Network's formatting choices for it, both in terms of it only being 15 minutes long and them deciding, here's 7 new episodes 7 days in a row, 5 new episodes 5 days in a row, and then just nothing for months on end. It's better than what they're letting it be. But, time to get to what you came here for, mandatory viewing.
Hey guys, it's mandatory viewing, the program where every month we assign each other some piece of media to consume, watch, play, what have you. And you, as the viewer, actually get to watch or play alongside of us. And at the end of the next month, we will talk about our experiences with that, converse, share, debate, if you will. And you get to put your input alongside ours in the comments. Ryan is not here today, as we mentioned before. He's actually going to share his mandatory viewing choices next week, and he's going to be watching along with us, make no mistake. And Jade will hopefully be back at the end of the month to kind of discuss how everything went for her too, because she will be participating in this month's mandatory viewing. So Jade, as the guest of honor, why don't you start us off and tell us what you would like to assign Lucas, Ryan, and I to view this month.
Okay. So what I would like to assign you guys to view is kind of me, so I feel like it's not, it's common knowledge that we all, I have very different media tastes than you two.
That's why we got you on here.
Yeah. So I feel like I would give you guys a taste of, something that I actually recently, discovered, or I just found this channel on YouTube, and I actually really thoroughly enjoy it, but it's also kind of make me go it's making me feel bad about my college experience and where I live.
Oh no.
I don't know if that's the right way to put it, but anyway, her name is, I hope I'm saying this right, Elena Tabor.
Okay.
Yeah, Elena Tabor. I think that's how you say her name. And she has a YouTube channel, and she's currently sitting at 152,736 subscribers. So she just, like, went over that 100,000 mark. So she's, like, a smaller channel. And basically, her channel revolves around... Let me just, like, pull up her channel, and I'll just read, like, some of, like, the video names, you know, and that'll kind of set you up for what you guys are going to be watching. So,
go for it.
Her most recent video is Summer Day in My Life, Healthy and Productive. She has currently 6 episodes of her Come Thrifting With Me series. She has a video called How I Stay Fit and Healthy in College, Summer Morning Routine, Healthy and Productive, What's in My Beach Bag, Last Week of College Vlog, College Beach House Tour, a festival-inspired lookbook. She has like a 1970s lookbook on here. She vlogged when she went to Cuba and Seoul, Korea. More thrifting vlogs, and she lives specifically in Oceanside, California, and shares a beach bungalow with 6 of her best friends.
Jade, is this girl a wellness hoe?
Yes. You
Okay.
could, if like,
Fantastic.
if we're determining that this isn't a derivative term, like, that this is, like, calling someone, like, a bad bitch, or, like, just, I don't know, just, like, one girl calling another girl, like, bitch, you know, like, that this is a compliment to say that you are a wellness hoe.
Not derogatory.
Not derogatory, yeah, I would say that she's a bit of a wellness hoe, like, yeah.
So before you get into specifically which of her videos or which series of videos you want us to check out, why does she make you feel bad about your college career?
Because as I described to my friend Kegs, I said, I feel like her and her friends' college careers are punctuated by like aspirational, like, wellness and beach days and community, and they have an avocado tree in their backyard, and it's sunny and beautiful, and, like, I feel like the standard, like, Wisconsin college experience is punctuated with, like, darkness, depression, and binge drinking.
Hey, we had good times getting way too drunk on tequila in that un-air-conditioned attic of a Victorian apartment.
It wasn't that nice. Saying that it was a Victorian-era house would, like, say that it at least had some class at some point. I don't know why that house was ever built.
So which of her videos do you want us to kind of at least start with and then maybe branch out on our own from there?
I feel like, for the most part, I would like you guys to kind of, like, click and choose as you want. Most of her videos are very short, because she's, like, a smaller creator, and she was a student making videos, so they all, like, average between, like, 5 and 10 minutes long. But the one that I first watched was the College Beach House Tour, so I would start with that, and then go from there, because that is the video that sucked me in.
That also looked like it's one of the most viewed ones on her channel.
Yeah. It got recommended
almost 10 times, yeah.
Yeah, so it got recommended to me. It's probably because, like, well, it says College Beach House Tour, like, that's a good SEO title.
All right. I'll link to that in the description down below with the other mandatory viewing items.
Yeah. I do want to disclaim, like, I love this channel. I think this person is, like, doing, like, a great job with, like, being, like, a small creator, and I get really excited when I, like, find, like, YouTube channels that have, like, really good, like, a really good volume of content that's, like, really enjoyable, and they're, like, just starting out, because I feel like there's so many channels now that have 1 million subscribers, and, like, everything is really trendy, and, like, challenges and stuff, so I think it's really exciting when I find a channel like this.
I mean, on YouTube, there's also the definitely higher 100K range where you can really tell that the creator is starting to sell out and cater more to the algorithm than what they really got brought up for.
Yeah,
but that's me being cynical.
Yeah, I would say that just scrolling through her, like, she definitely has an aesthetic that she has adhered to since she started her channel, and she's sticking with it. And it looks like she thoroughly enjoys making the videos and isn't doing it just to, you know, get famous.
Very cool. Mm-hmm. Well, I look forward to digging into a part of YouTube that I rarely go to. Andrew, looks like you're keeping the YouTube viewing rolling. What are you making me, Jade, and Ryan watch?
Well, this is a little bit different from Jade's because it's not per se just a channel you can watch random episodes on. I'm going to have you guys watch a mini series. It's going to be up to you how far you're going to give it before you decide to, whether or not to keep watching it. There's 3 seasons. The episodes, for the most part, in season 1 are pretty short. They're like less than 20 minutes. They're usually 10 to 15 minutes. As the series goes on, the episodes are closer to half an hour to 45 minutes. And the series finale is actually an hour long. So this is a disclaimer, if you guys are watching it, you're not really getting into it, I understand if you stop watching, but I would give it until maybe a couple of episodes into season 2, because I think season 2 is my favorite season. But enough of that. What I'm actually talking about is Video Game High School.
Oh.
You son of a bitch.
Video Game High School is a show that I watched in high school. I know Lucas watched it too. We watched a lot of it together. It's a very nostalgic show for me. All of our friends would always watch it and talk about it all day at high school.
Wasn't Freddy from iCarly in Video Game High School?
He is in season 3, yes. He is.
He's actually pretty great in this.
Yeah. But the whole idea of it is that it's made by Rocket Jump Entertainment, which is the YouTube channel that was formerly known as Freddie Wong, or just Freddie W, depending on what time period we're talking about. So it's kind of a comedy, VFX-centered miniseries that kind of takes an absurdist look at high school. And I always kind of saw it as more of a take on college instead of high school. But there's kind of a mix of both in there. And friendship and youth and all the problems that aren't really problems in today's society, but are the biggest problems to you when you're a young person. But it's so funny, and the characters are all so lovable. It's kind of like an alternate universe where everything is centered on technology and video games. Other than that, the world is completely the same. Well, there's a few differences just because it's an absurdist comedy show, but the main character, Brian D, accidentally defeats one of the world's best players of a certain first-person shooter, and he gets a scholarship to go to a prestigious high school, which is basically a college. He's got a dorm and all that kind of stuff, called Video Game High School, where they train kids to play and make video games, and it's just fucking great. All of the friends that he makes along the way, all of the side plots. They do a couple of random episodes that always kind of change up the way that you're seeing the show. There's some real heart in there. I would highly recommend watching it all the way through, but I would definitely give it at least until season 2 before you decide to drop out if you don't like it. Jade, I will hold you to it. We're gonna watch together.
Okay.
I want to see if it holds up. Lucas, I want you to watch it too, see if it holds up for you. And then for Jade and for Ryan, this will be the first time you guys watch it, so we can get your fresh hot takes.
Okay.
I bought a fucking coffee mug from Freddie Wong so season 2 could happen.
Yep, I remember that. I cannot wait for you guys to just tear apart something that holds a lot of sentimental value for me.
I can't wait for the show to bring up all the repressed high school emotions and moments that I thought I had buried down deep. Can't wait for that to happen.
All right, take us home, Lucas.
Okay. Oh yeah, my last 2 cents on Video Game High School. Jade and Ryan listening at home. I look forward to you guys very much noticing exactly when the budget kicks in for that show. But my mandatory viewing is also a YouTube channel, keeping that train rolling. And it is a channel known as Maddie Burrito. Definitely a smaller, I don't know, maybe mid-sized channel, depending on how you define that. I'm pulling it up now. 1 second.
What was it called again?
Maddie Burrito. You can just use the link in the doc.
Okay.
He's at 300 and change thousand subscribers. Does a lot of animation in a style that I really like.
Oh, I've seen some of these videos.
Yeah, I might have showed you like 1 or 2 of the shorter ones, but really kind of like Brian Lee O'Malley towards the end Scott Pilgrim style, and I really dig that. And I think that, there's definitely something on this channel for all of your guys' sensibilities. Ryan, and you guys are going to hopefully watch both of the series that I recommend. But Ryan, I think you'll really enjoy the Pokemon Golder videos. It's really hard to describe, but it's just a trip and a very much adult animated take on what were very much children's games. Andrew, I think you're going to enjoy his Next Quest series. There are only 2, no, not Next Quest, Guild Breakers. Watch Guild Breakers. There are only 2 in that, but it's very much getting at the kind of Duralius and Associates vibe that we both really like, where it's very much different spin on like the kind of established fantasy tropey rules of some video games and tabletop games. So I think you'll like that. And Jade, I'm pretty sure you'll get something out of either of those series just by how batshit ridiculous and crass this humor can get sometimes.
Okay. I have a question. I noticed that the first video on their channel breaks the format.
Yeah.
How do you mean?
It's
well,
like
it was like 2 years prior to the next video.
It's just called Why You Should Have Sex Ed in School, and it almost looks like they maybe made it for a school project.
Oh, yeah, definitely. This guy totally like started a channel in high school, left it alone for 2 years, and was like, well, I could start a new YouTube channel, but, this video I made when I was a dumbass high school student already has 70,000 views, so maybe I'll try to roll that into something else.
Me. I just private. I made all my project videos from school just private, and then just put on a lookbook onto my channel.
But that's what I got this week. Before this month. Like we said before, Ryan is gonna come in next week with the shit that we have to watch. I think it's also a YouTube channel, but no idea what it is. Look forward to finding out, though. I think that's it for now. Jade, thank you for joining us on this podcast.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Yeah, you're more than welcome to come on anytime.
Cool.
Do you
Definitely
got
gonna
any...
have to come back in a month, though, so we can talk about mandatory.
Of course. Yeah.
Absolutely. Do you have anything you want to plug or any of that stuff?
You can follow me on Instagram. I'm just kidding. I'm not going to make people follow me on Instagram.
No, follow her on Instagram. Give her your handle.
Okay, my handle is Jade M1113.
I like how concise and marketable that is.
I'm like, why? I want to put my name in things, but why are all these random ass people named Jade? My name is not common, okay?
Probably only 42,000 Jades in this hemisphere.
If you Google image search Jade, you get some weird shit.
I'm actually gonna... Oh, I don't want to know what kind of weird shit.
Oh, I found a Jade butt plug. That was the 3rd image.
I also am gonna do a super quick plug. Please follow me on Twitter at Lucas the Writer. Finally starting to make some headway with some freelance writing work. And that is definitely the place where I'm going to be promoting the bulk of that. So check that out, and I'll probably get more work where I'm able to sustain myself from it. The better the stuff I write performs. So be sure to check that out. Otherwise, follow this podcast, Voluntary Viewing, on Twitter at V2_podcast. And hey, we have a Gmail. That's voluntaryviewing@gmail.com. Send us a bunch of questions or shit you want us to talk about there, and we will, because we're attention sluts like that, I guess. And we'll do that if it means it entertains you and you recommend it to your friends and family, and then more people watch it. And eventually we can start a Patreon with this and then have money to eat with.
Okay.
Lucas.
What? Too real at the end?
Take her back a step.
Take it back?
Ooh, if we have a Patreon, like one of the levels should be that we like record like all our like all your podcasts. I act like I'm a regular person on this podcast. You should record all your podcasts and put them on like an 8-track tape.
Oh.
You send those out.
I want us to operate. First off, that's brilliant. I want us to operate a Patreon like someone who doesn't really understand the difference between a Patreon and something like Chatterbait. And it's like, yeah, send us money and we'll say some dirty shit on a microphone and send it to you.
This is now an ASMR podcast.
Honestly, a lot of podcasts I listen to that have Patreons do a thing where, hey, if you're $10 and up, we'll say your name on our podcast every week. And that seems kind of, oh, you are just taking money to say something that somebody wants it to. And that's a little...
Yeah, just give us $20 and we'll whisper all your favorite words and record it on an 8-track for your listening pleasure.
No, but legit, voluntary viewing podcast financial strategy. If you give us $10, we will say your name, and if you give us $20, we'll just say things into a recording and send it to you. I'm being serious. I'm Andrew Clark. As God is my witness, I will do it.
But if they had you say something really terrible.
Okay, no terrible things are coming to mind right now.
I just keep thinking of the iDubbbz video with Tana Mojo.
Oh, God.
Wait, is that how she... Okay. Okay, now I'm slightly... No, I still don't care about Tana Mojo, I'm sorry. I'm Lucas, the writer, and I don't care about Tana Mojo. He is God as his witness, Andrew Clark, and she's...
Just
something
Jade.
She's
a Jade butt plug.
Hey!
Whoa.
Edit that out.
And that's our video title. Have a good night, everybody.